I had a feeling of great triumph and victory.
Let the truth be told. Want the truth, you came to the right show. Yeah. Talk to me, tell me what's going on. Alan and DJ, we talk about back in the day to up to date, and you know it's nothing but love and no hate. LP Reese gave us the okay. Okay, let's go. Welcome to the Lineage Show. Okay, let's go. The Lineage.
From the front line that march. To my left, march Jose Williams holding his ball. I march next to him. Mrs. King march next to me. Dr. King march next to her. On the way to the Capitol. To hear Dr. King make that speech that day. I sat on that platform, looked out over that sea of humanity, and I had a feeling of great triumph and victory. After having gone through all of the indignities, all the sacrifices, not all seen.
Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. We are back. Man, me and bro had to work some kinks out. It's been a minute, so we a little rusty here. But it's so good to be back. And we appreciate everybody, all the support while we've been gone. We had to just focus on some other things because one thing we pride ourselves on, if we're gonna do it, we got to do it right. We got to keep it 100 and always do it right to the best of our ability. But yes, we do appreciate you joining in with us. The Lineage Podcast is back. We will be going live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And then you can catch out some of our videos we're gonna post. We got a lot of things that's coming up. A lot of things that's coming up that we're gonna, of course, be promoting. A lot of new things that we got excited about. We not halfway through the year, but God has been good. So that's all I can say about that. We got a nice show for today coming back. And I would say this is one of my favorite things to do with everything that we have going on. One of my favorite things to do is to do the podcast every week and come face to face, talk to people and let them share their opinion on the topics and whatever we have going on, and we can talk about the hot topics and the old topics, the new topics. So yeah, once again, we appreciate everybody joining in.
I like the tours.
Go ahead, bro.
Now I was saying, you said your favorite thing to do to be on the podcast. My favorite thing is to doing the tours.
Yeah.
That's my absolute favorite thing to do is the tours, man.
Yeah, the tours be lit. Also, people coming from all over the nation, man, to come and hear us talk about Selma, hear us talk about our grandfather. If y'all don't know who our grandfather is, then you've been sleeping on the rock if you following us, because every week we're posting something about our grandfather and what he meant to the civil rights movement and everything. So if you know the Reese brothers, the Reese family, then you should definitely know about FD Reese, because we share it all the time, pretty much daily. But we got a great show today, good show, couple of topics. This year, I'll start by saying March. If you don't know, March is a very significant month for Selma, Alabama. Not only is it the month where Bloody Sunday happened, it is also the month where the Selma to Montgomery March started from. January is also a good month. That's the Teachers March, January 22nd, 1965. But we want to start off by March. Talking about March. The Jubilee is a bridge crossing celebration. It is paying homage to March the 7th, 1965, better known as Bloody Sunday. We have had the honor of being able to participate, speculate. Some years we've participated, some years we've just went to speculate. And this year, once again, we participated a little bit, but we did a lot of speculation. But 2 weeks after that was FD Reese Day.
That's right.
And we're hoping to make it an FD Reese weekend in the near future. But FD Reese Day was a success. So March, like I said, is a very significant month for Selma, Alabama. But what we want to talk about, let's start the first topic. If you haven't been to, I'll say this, if you haven't been to Selma, Alabama, please go. If you want to talk about voting, the reason why you have the right to vote, that is the holy ground of the voting rights movement. So this topic, we're going to be talking about bridging the gap. Now, me and bro talked about a couple of things regarding this, surrounding this. We've had our opinions about the Jubilee. Although it has, let's start out when you want to say something, start out saying something nice. What I will say about the bridge crossing, every year it has brought eyes to Selma on a yearly basis. That sometimes people already forget about Selma, but one thing it does do, it brings all of the people, the who's who, to Selma, Alabama for that weekend. Usually it's the first weekend in March every year. And let me go to this picture here. I'll go here. This is, if you don't know, this is the first, what they then were calling it. It was a 10-year memorial celebration held at Brown's Chapel. This was in 1975. This was March 8th, 1975. Now, this picture, if you look in your bottom left hand, the bottom left corner, you'll see John Lewis. You can tell this was in the 70s, y'all, because
John had hair. Look at FD head.
Yeah,
not a speaker of gray hair.
Yeah. No gray
John
hair.
Lewis had hair.
Yeah, FD had a head full of gray hair. But you see John Lewis, Coretta Scott King, and our grandfather, they're kind of greeting him, of course, because Granddaddy stayed in Selma. So this was 10 years after Bloody Sunday. And this was 500 people came to this particular march. If you could look to the right, upper right, Granddad is cut off, but you see Granddaddy, Coretta, and John Lewis marching across the bridge. Now, this is something they do every year. They've been doing it every year, marching across the bridge on that Sunday. But I'll tell my opinion first, and Alan, because I know you may have more to say than me when it comes to this. My opinion when it comes to the bridge crossing, I think it has gotten too political. I've been at many bridge crossings, over a dozen. And one thing I will say, it does bother me a little bit to see foot soldiers, families in the back, and then politicians in the front. It has turned into a photo op to me. Like I said, it's a lot of good things the Jubilee has done as far as bringing the eyes to Selma. Because if there's one weekend that the whole world, or the whole nation eyes are going to be on Selma, is that weekend. You have sitting presidents, former presidents come to Selma for that weekend. But I'm specifically talking about the Jubilee, the bridge crossing. I think it has gotten too political. We have forgotten about the foot soldiers and the people, the local people of Selma, who made a difference in Selma, Alabama. If it was my opinion, if it was left up to me, the family members of foot soldiers, Courageous 8, Dallas County Voters League, would lead that march every year. Every year, that's who would lead that march. If it was left up to me, but it's not left up to me. But I will say that, and you know us, we're gonna keep it 100. And some people may not like it, and there's some people that know us that may not like this opinion. Some people that know us from Selma.
You're gonna make them cringe, bro.
Yeah, but I have to say that, and I'll say this, and I turn it over to bro. If Selma doesn't respect Selma, no one will respect Selma.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say it like that. If Selma don't respect Selma, no one will respect Selma.
Mm-hmm.
So that bridge crossing, well, I'm just focused on the bridge crossing for me right now. The
Mm-hmm.
bridge crossing every Sunday, they start on Thursday. So that fourth day of the Jubilee celebration weekend, I think it needs a drastic change. And the family members of foot soldiers, Dallas County Voters League, Courageous 8, it don't even have to be us. I'm gonna be honest. I would like to see any living foot soldiers lead it.
You got Miss King.
You come on, man.
When we do the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I was done.
But when we do the parade for the Jubilee, remember, man, we have banners for the names of the Courageous 8, and it's a lot of the kids in the lineage of the Dallas County Voters League, the Shannons, the Doyles, the Gildersleeves, the Reeses,
Right.
Hunter, Boynton, Foster. It's a lot of family members that's there, and they just get overlooked. And I'm tired of it, MJ. I'm tired of it. I really am. And I think one thing about FD Reese Day weekend, I said weekend, I'm speaking in the future. You saw that.
There you go.
We're gonna make sure we implement those names and what we do, because it's not all about FD Reese, MJ. It's not. FD Reese didn't carry the mantle himself. He didn't do it by himself.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? He had individuals who believed in his leadership.
Correct.
Okay? But that does not mean that we should overlook, just because FD Reese was the president of Dallas County Voters League, that we should overlook the other individuals that stood beside him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing that even the weekend is nothing. Think about it, you have a Martin Luther King breakfast, Martin Luther King Coretta Scott breakfast, but
Correct.
nothing is mentioned about the Dallas County Voters League. Nothing is mentioned. Now the Ebenezer started doing the Courageous Free Thinkers, but we don't. Nothing says anything about Dallas County Voters League, the Courageous 8. You'll be surprised how many people come to Selma and walk on that front line and don't even know the Dallas County Voters League. And I'll be honest with you. I think the people who are still living, like Dr. Lafayette, and they are living and they're not telling the story like it should be told.
Okay.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And what it is doing our story as Black people injustice, because remember, we were judges at R&B Hudson Middle School. None of them know about the Dallas County Voters League. The Voting Rights Act came through Selma, Alabama. Why doesn't the school system in Selma, Alabama, these individuals know about at least the Courageous 8, the board of directors of the Dallas County Voters League?
At least.
Okay. Yeah, you might not know the whole 2,000 who it grew to, but let's start with the board of directors. Let's stop allowing people to tell the story. Those people, Dr. Lafayette and them and Rose Sanders, then they went in Selma in 1965. Matter of fact, they went in Selma in 1956. They're not They're not from Selma, Alabama. So it would do us justice to speak up, but it would do them justice to listen. You get what I'm saying, bro?
100. 100, man.
I got some artifacts that tell the truth about who was in charge.
Correct.
And what the story tells.
Correct. And let's be clear. Let's be clear, bro. This is not because I'll be honest, and some people may be taken aback by me saying this. This is not a campaign to put our granddaddy in something that he doesn't deserve. This is not that. We're not even saying FD put him on a mantle or anything of that nature. One thing about us is we're not going to do what was done to our grandfather.
That's right.
And I'm going to keep it 1,000.
Yeah.
He was left out of this. He was left out of conversations. He has been left out of books. He's
speeches.
been left out. He's been left out of a lot of things in this movement. And one thing that we're not going to do is do the same thing. So as we're pushing Granddaddy F.D. Reese, Frederick Douglass Reese Sr., we are also being honest and pushing the Courageous Eight, the Dallas County Voters League, and everybody that we know that came along and help.
Yeah, MJ, just to give people a quick understanding what the Dallas County Voters League did and what was their job in Selma, Alabama during that time. We know about the SCLC. That's Dr. King. We know the board of directors of the SCLC, Dr. Martin Luther King. Then you got Reverend Ralph Abernathy, then who was the vice president of the SCLC. Then you got the treasurer, the great ambassador, Andrew Young. Okay, then you go to SNCC, who was also a group that was in Atlanta, who John Lewis was the chairman of that board.
Correct.
Okay, now that group was invited by the Dallas County Voters League.
Correct.
Okay, remember in 1956, Alabama had banned the NAACP from practicing in Alabama.
Correct.
This is where you see the Dallas County Voters League take charge in 1956 when it was revived by Mr. Sam Boynton, who later passed away of cancer, and his wife, Miss Boynton.
Correct.
Okay, now Granddaddy became president in late 1963.
63, that's
okay,
right.
When John Lewis, you can quote him, he said that he met Reverend Reese, who was the president, who was the leader of the movement, when he came to Selma in 1963.
Correct.
We'll give you I know about this Selma movement. I might not know about other stuff, but I know about this. Now, in late 1964, the Courageous Eight, who was the board of directors of the Dallas County Voters League, starting with F.D. Reese as the president, Mr. Doyle was the vice president, Mr. Gillisley was the secretary. Then you look at Ms. Boynton, you look at Marie Foster, you look at Reverend Hunter, you look at Mr. Shannon.
And Blackman.
And Blackman.
Yep.
These are the people who was in charge of steering the movement in Selma, Alabama.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, they decided because what was happening with SNCC, what SNCC was there to do was to teach people how to take the voting rights test. Remember, white folks was born when they came out of their mother's womb. Blacks had to take a literacy test. Okay,
that's
right. A quick rundown. Okay, now
break it down.
What happened was every time blacks would go take the test in Selma, Alabama, they would change the test. So they were playing cat and mouse. So what did F.D. Reese, as the president of Dallas County Voters League, he looked and said to the other group and said, look, this guy named Martin Luther King, who, if he was in today's time, will have 100 million Facebook and Instagram followers.
That's right.
Let's invite that guy because we have the foundation here in Selma, because we have the old big racist Jim Clark.
That's right.
Who's going to bite on everything we're going to do, but we need the cameras here. We need the attention to showcase around the world what's going on in Selma, Alabama. So they invited this guy called Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in late 1964. Dr. King accepted the invitation because the reason they invited Dr. King, because when Dr. King went to Albany, Georgia, and them black folks ran him out of Georgia and it was so much chaos, he said, I would not go anywhere unless I was invited. And that's where the Dallas County, that's where the great letter that the Dallas County Voters League, which is the Courageous Eight, who wrote the letter at Miss Boynton's house in Selma, Alabama, to invite Dr. King to Selma. And he accepted the letter. He did not come until January the 2nd, because the reason he didn't come on January the 1st is because Selma celebrates the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, the Dallas County Voters League, the nation should know about this group in Selma, Alabama. This is why people during the Jubilee continue to come to Selma and overlook our own in Selma, because we do not put the right group in the forefront, and that's the Dallas County Voters League.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So
Ms. Wade said, this is my first time hearing of the Dallas County Voters League.
That's right.
Yeah.
And MJ, to be honest with you, what's going on in Selma government now, I would think that the Dallas County Voters League needs to be recreated.
Yeah.
See, one thing we messed up as black people, and I know me, it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. We all do it. But now that we look 60 years later, the groups that we had, the Dallas County Voters League, the SCLC, SNCC, these groups need to be back created and really enforced to put their neck on the people that govern our lives. Remember, that's what F.D. Reisner was doing. They were putting their neck on the government, the people governing their lives. But what we did as Black people started moving into the government as politicians, guess what? They became politicians.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
And now, instead of being a person in the political process, speaking up for your people and trying to move stuff forward, they begin to play politics.
Correct.
But now what you don't have is groups like the Dallas County Voters League, who used to put the foot on them folks' necks.
Correct.
You don't have it anymore, and you just got people hollering.
Yep.
So
exactly.
So if you want to learn more about that, man, book a tour. Come down to 15
book a tour.
Street.
Book a tour.
I'll most definitely give it to you.
Yeah. And like I said, we're gonna be doing a lot of things. We're gonna start doing house calls and Zoom calls and doing a lot of things to get the word out there, and the things that we're doing as far as Reese Enterprises. And of course, you know, we are the founder and co-founder of the F.D. Reese Foundation. So we're gonna be doing a lot of things, but you're 100% right. And a lot of the times, like I said, if Selma don't respect Selma, then no one will. So anybody that's on here from Selma, I charge you to now when you see the people that come in, because y'all got to understand, we do tours. Matter of fact, we got a tour coming up in about a week and a half. When the people come to Selma, the only thing they know, majority of them say, 85% of them say, all I know is the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they know.
That's all they know.
But think about this. They say they know the bridge. Then when you ask them who else you know in the civil rights movement, it's two names they always say: Martin Luther King and John Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like someone coming to Atlanta and not knowing who Martin Luther King is, not knowing who
that's right.
Ambassador Andy Young is.
That's right, MJ.
That's
mm-hmm.
Think about how we would look at someone if they came to Atlanta and they didn't know who MLK, who Martin Luther King was.
That's right. They didn't know who Maynard Jackson was.
They didn't know who Maynard Jackson was.
You don't know who Maynard. You going to the airport, you don't know who Maynard is.
You know who Maynard Jackson.
First Black mayor of
Right.
of Atlanta, Georgia, who really laid the groundwork for different mayors around the nation, Black mayors.
Correct.
Let's come on, man. It would be a disgrace, MJ.
100%.
But
100%.
they come to Selma and they do not know not one.
Not one, dog.
Because we don't teach it, man. And it's so hard for people like us to teach, because now not only have they been to the Jubilee and they ain't teaching them, especially now when you go in the first mass meetings at Tabernacle, you go around, you might learn a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them cats out there for Polish sausage and hot dogs and hamburgers, and we're still not teaching them.
We ain't teaching them.
So something has to change, man.
Yeah.
You know, something has to change.
I say it needs to start one with little things. You know, you ask your vendors, when you book your vendors who's selling food, to have something on their menu that can represent something in Selma. If they selling Polish sausage, make it the Amelia Boynton, or if they selling hamburgers, make it the Reverend Hunter hamburger, or make it the Dallas County vote. Something that they can do. Make it the Dallas County voter. It's so many things around there that you can just name. I had a program, not a program. It was kind of an itinerary of what was going on in the Jubilee this year, because this year was significant also because it was the 60th anniversary of the bridge crossing. But when you look through that program and through that itinerary, you saw absolutely nothing about Selma. You saw absolutely nothing paying homage to Selma. Let me say that. Everything was about the vote and things of that nature, which is cool. But we also got to teach the people, because it is a disservice for us to go around to different schools in Selma and they don't even know. And we're not talking about just the students, y'all. Principals don't know. They are principals in the school and don't know why the school is a historical site. They don't know it. That's a shame.
Good job, man.
That's a shame, man.
Gotta do a better
So
job.
we're speaking about Selma because, you know, it's dear to us and, you know, our roots come from there. But we're talking about, even if it's just not Selma, even if it's all over the nation, let's start to respect, not only respect the popularity. It's kind of like, I look at it like this, and I'll be quiet about it. How we always focus on the presidential election, and we don't focus on our local election.
Mhm.
That's the same thing that they're doing in Selma. We always focus on when the bridge crossing come, Martin Luther King, John Lewis.
Well, Andrew, that's done by design, because what happened, I'm just real talk, when you start looking at, after Eyes on the Prize, and you start the national attention that the movement in Selma started getting from the movement, ones that had the cameras on them and was able to go up and become a federal elective official as a result of what went on in Selma. Instead of mentioning names, they generalized it. Their speeches didn't have anything to do with the Dallas County Voters League.
Right.
Their speeches never said that the Courageous Eight, F.D. Reese, Million Boynton, Marie Foster, Gitters Lee and Dora, Black and Shannon, Hunter, invited
none of J.L. Chestnut, none of that.
Don't hear J.L. Chestnut and don't hear none of this, MJ.
Right.
And they were silent. Literally, it was almost like it was this is something that they was a talking point. You know, they give you talking points.
Yeah.
It was like, we're gonna be silent with our talking points about Selma. And then think about how so disrespectful this is. They were silent on their talking points about individuals in organizations that invited them to Selma. Then they brought the national attention in Selma, sat in Selma, Alabama, in the bridge, and looked at our folks and didn't say anything about our folks. And we said nothing.
Nothing, man.
Think about it.
You're right, bro.
Think about it, bro.
That's deliberate disrespect.
Deliberately did that. And we still have people from Selma who sit on federal or federal election officials and have weight around the world and will not speak on specific names that change the outlook of the voting of this country.
Correct.
And we still are silent.
Still silent. Candace White on my Facebook, she said, respect the history. 100%. 100% respect the history, man.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. We don't know one will, so it's a double. Let's go to the next. This next topic, man. This guy, man. Let me play this video first, and then we'll talk about it.
This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I know this shit that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron.
Man, I'm sorry, MJ. Go on. This is your segment. I'm gonna be quiet.
It's so many layers to this. First of all, I need Cornelia. I should have hit my cousin up because this her guy.
Oh, she sure do love him.
She like Kevin Gates. I need Cornelia to come to the front of the congregation and sit on the second pew by the motherboard. I need her front and center on this one. This is why I want my Lakers, because I had to represent. I'll say this, man. You know, a lot of the times, if you've seen my talking points or something, you know, I can be controversial when it comes to certain things about relationships. especially when it's come to holding the women accountable and all that. Krista said she's so weak because this her dog. Yeah, your dog done messed up.
Yeah.
This what I'll say, man. And like I said, I've been critical, and I have I can be controversial. But I got the tape. You know, I'm not gonna even say I'm not gonna even go the route of it's a color thing with the black women and white women. I'm not gonna even go that route. Even though what he said was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Disrespectful.
Now, all I'm gonna say is, can the black women catch a break? Because so many times, man, we have heard the dysfunction talking points of black women. Oh, they don't carry themselves right. They too masculine. They twerking all on social media. They, need a better representation. And even though at times I've seen black women be critical of other black women, kind of like how they drug Felicia Rashad 2 weeks ago. But I'm gonna say this: if Savannah James cannot be one of the best examples of how to be a lady married to one of the most popular, not only sports figure, one of the most popular celebrities, period. She has been unblemished. They got together when they was in high school. You haven't heard her name in no type of him or her, no type of scandals. They've been a model citizen of family, the show family. And this guy Kevin Gates gonna get on there and say, I don't like how Savannah James look at her husband. Her husband. He want to be looked at like the white women look at LeBron. Now, mind you, the white women he is speaking of are the ones that are in the stands at the games. They aren't the ones that have to massage LeBron feet. They aren't the ones that bear his children. They aren't the ones that knows the behind the scenes of what it takes to be married to LeBron James. And he talked about the handshake. And see, I think that's where he's missing something. See, one thing you can tell is LeBron and his wife are friends. And see, Kevin Gates don't want no friend. See, he want to be treated like, he want to pull up like they did in Coming to America. And he want his female to get out the car before him and throw the rose petals down and bring out the red carpet. And see, that's the type of mess that he want. And then he's dating a female, Brittany Renner, that is the total opposite of Savannah James. And it's like, okay, now come on, man. You got in there and said something crazy. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna read these couple. Candace said that's so dumb. They looking at him like that because they plotting. Facts. Krista said it was because how the white women look at that woman loves her man down. Yeah. Facts. And Shalonda said Kevin Gates wants a fan, not a partner.
Man,
he has a wife now and something else going on. We don't value his opinion 100%. Yeah, he was off the mark with that one, bro. Really. And I'm gonna say that was disrespectful. Man, Savannah James don't even take certain pictures with male fans. When they asking her to take pictures when she's leaving, certain female fans, a little girl, she would, but male fans, she won't do it.
Yeah,
because she know what time it is. Yeah, man, it's
man, MJ. Yeah. First of all, it's disrespectful.
Yeah,
he don't want a wife. He want a do girl.
He want a servant.
He want a servant.
Yeah.
To disrespect Miss James, and that's what I'm gonna. And you know me, I don't believe LeBron's the GOAT, and I believe Michael Jordan.
And
But
I
let's
believe
be honest.
But yeah, beyond that, yeah.
This lady, like you said, has been she got pregnant when he was young. She's been holding it down
Mm-hmm.
since he came out of high school. They went to
High school.
prom together.
Yeah.
High school.
Mhm.
She's never been in the news. They can't say anything about her, MJ. She is a wife. Okay, Kevin Gates, what you might not understand is Savannah James, she know who LeBron really is.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
All these women who looking at LeBron like that want some of LeBron. Believe me, if you live with him, you probably wouldn't want him.
Right. Right.
Because it's some things about me that only Kim gonna deal with.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
After how many years they've been together? 20 years, whatever. I guarantee it's some things about LeBron that he might be OCD. He likes stuff this way. He likes stuff this way. You're just looking at him on the court
Mhm.
and knowing the money that he has. And that's why those women are looking at him that way.
Right.
He know who he really is, and she loves that man through his imperfectness.
And let's keep it 1,000. Kevin Gates talking, and here's the caveat, bro. How you know she ain't looking at him like that privately?
That's right.
I guarantee you she has. See what he want that public. See, like you said, he wants. Yeah, it's that ego, man. It's that.
Ego. That's right.
Christian said something profound. Kevin Gates is attacking the legacy he desires, but doesn't understand how to get it.
That's right. He can't get it.
He can't get it.
He can't.
100%. Mama said Shannon get them looks too.
Lord have mercy.
We ain't gonna talk about I guess
we'll sharp today.
We'll wait talk about we'll probably talk about next week. But yeah, you're right, man. It's in that same vicinity. Like, what do you want? Because it takes seeing what it is for Kevin Gates. You have to be a certain type of man to sustain a Savannah James.
Mm-hmm.
And the harsh reality is for you to get a wife and sustain it. And like you said, she knows the real LeBron James. She's had 3 of his children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he's
way
off base.
MJ, you can't wife a wife. He want more attention.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He want to be the female.
Right. Right.
You can't wife a wife. I'm saying what I mean by that is that he wants the attention and get treated like a woman should get treated.
Correct.
You get it, MJ. And there's a lot of men like that, bro. I promise. The older I get, I realize more men gossip and like females than women are.
Man,
it's a lot of men out here who talk and just yap. Yeah. It ain't about none of what they talk about.
Facts.
I'm dead for real. It's a lot of men. The men of FD Reasoning are far and few.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of Kevin Gates out there that social media has given them a platform, and I don't see no man in them, MJ.
Nah, because
I see a rap, I see tattoos, but I see
like some of the things, Kevin. I'll be honest. He said a couple of things that I'm like, okay, he on point with that. But a lot of times he's a rapper, but he's very extreme. He's very to the left, bro. With his opinion. So it don't really surprise me that he said this. But what I'm saying is, how dare him talk about Savannah?
Yeah, put some respect on her name. Miss James.
Miss James, bro.
Hey.
Like, out of all people, out of all women, her,
MJ, let me tell you something. Let's put this in a nutshell. LeBron been on the road. Think about it. He was in Cleveland. He moved to Miami. They was in Miami. He went back to Cleveland. He in LA. Look how it takes a woman. You can tell LeBron, he's a great man.
Mhm.
He's a great man. At the same time, what that man visioned, how he visioned his family to be raised, it takes a certain type of woman to like I say, men bring lemon, women make lemonade.
Right.
Look at those kids, MJ.
see what
You
I'm
never
saying?
heard them in trouble. You never heard they disrespectful. None of those are some good mannerable boys. The young girl that they're raising, you can just tell that they are a good family. They're a
Correct.
great representation on how a family should be. And we as Black people should be proud of the James family.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? They
Correct.
represent us well in front of those cameras, bro. And I
Mhm.
truly take it disrespectful that Kevin Gates decided to put his mouth on the James family.
Right.
That's so disrespectful. Look,
Mhm.
and we as people in the community and people like us activists, we got to tell Kevin Gates, look, bro, you didn't cross the line.
You cross the line.
Keep your mouth off the James family.
Right. Cross the
You
line.
get what I'm saying, bro? It's
Yeah,
no
'cause- yeah.
reason to try to nitpick the James family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
And-
he
and-
out of line and he out of pocket for
Yeah.
even speaking on her, MJ,
Right.
for even uttering his mouth to even speak on her,
Right.
because they represent us as Black people well, bro.
Mhm.
They do.
And
And
it's
that- and,
always
you know-
it's crazy that we try to bring people down, man. The higher they are up, and that's
Yeah,
crazy in our
like leave
community.
that man alone.
Christian said she knows the uncut, and they have built on the good, bad, and the ugly. Kevin could never get to that. Hey, Dreka had him separated on getting to know each other. Oh, that's Kevin Gates X. Amanda say, why is a grown man coming on another man's wife? Candace said, Black women can't catch a break
Okay.
because we've learned how to become strong. A real wife can be strong and still know her role / position to her husband. The struggle is different.
Mhm.
Amanda said, LeBron said it right. Lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
And
we
Amber
gotta
said-
have
Amber
have
said-
LeBron. We gotta have LeBron back like Kevin, out of pocket, bro.
Facts.
Go speak on somebody else. Then it's just like they don't start talking about, because I hate how they treat Michelle Obama. Call her man, monkey.
Come on, dog.
MJ,
Come
we
on.
as Black men got to start standing up, and somebody need to get knocked in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody need to get knocked in the mouth, because especially our Black women who has represented Black women well.
It's because I didn't understand the Felicia Rashad backlash. And
Yeah.
I don't get it, bro. When you have women,
She was telling the truth.
yeah.
Felicia Rashad, she was saying that the women need to carry themselves better, what the lady was being provocative or something, what she had on, right?
Well, she was basically saying she go to these different campuses and see women, some of the younger females not wearing the proper clothing.
Wearing
She was
pajamas.
basically saying men don't want their women out there like that.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is we got to protect the Black woman.
We do, bro.
And this is a prime example. This is a prime example. You got to protect them, because it's tough, because if you see back in the day, our elder women, they were looked at in a higher regard.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandmothers, your Felicia Rashads. And you're talking about Felicia Rashad and Savannah James probably got a 25, 30-year gap in age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you look at, neither one of them both of them have been talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, okay, the only thing that is praised is the dysfunction.
The dysfunction, bro.
So now it's like,
come on.
And now the Black woman is getting ridiculed by the man and the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, okay, well, what do you want us to be? Mm-hmm. What more do you want from Savannah James?
Yeah.
I'm saying if she can get criticized.
Yeah, what more? You didn't hear her to say nothing. She just sit there. She look at the game. You know what I'm saying? She don't have to be in front of the camera. She go by her business. What else can you do? Huh? What else can you do? See, women don't speak up. See, listen, man. Like I say, it gonna take like when I call her Miss Hustable. We women, the Hustables, the Claire Hustables of today, got to start being unapologetic and check that ratchetness. When the women get on social media and start talking that crazy talk, MJ, it's not enough Claire Hustables. Speaking up.
Yeah.
Going against that, because a lot of times, I'm not just being honest, women tend to have what Republicans do. Don't talk about another Republican.
Or the sister code.
The sister code. Forget that sister code.
Yeah.
Because they being disrespectful.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So someone got to check. We as men can't always check them.
Yeah, and it's tough for us to check them. We can check Kevin Gates like
we're gonna
right
check
now.
him. Yeah.
We can check him, but when the queens are speaking up,
that's right.
It's tough for us to check them because then it leads into the gender war and this.
That's
that,
right.
And the third.
That's right.
So just like we check Kevin Gates.
They need to check them women.
Need to check them, yeah. You're 100% right. Yeah, because I was like, man, this is like, come on, Kevin.
It used to be a time, bro, when a matriarch speaks, everyone is quiet.
Everyone shut up.
Even if you disagree, you was quiet because you respect that person's age and you respect their place in the community. You get what I'm saying?
Correct. When
we gonna bring that back?
Yep.
You know,
because Shalonda said dysfunction is entertaining. When we have class and avoid drama, we're prude. Yeah. That's right. Basically saying when you have class and you ain't about that drama, you lame.
You lame.
And it's like
wow.
Okay. Chrissy said not knocked in the mouth. She laughing at your knocked in the mouth. Amanda said, protect the black woman. Y'all want us to ride in our softness, protect us when we right. That's real. She said Felicia was right. These young girls and some older females take it too far.
They're right.
Chris said, I respect the fact she said nothing but walk in grace. It's not like that anymore. Our elders are afraid to speak now. Chris is saying the elders are afraid to speak. Amanda said the reason that doesn't happen anymore is because grandma is living through the kids these days. All of that's right.
Some of that is true.
That's real.
Both of those things are true at the same time.
Yeah.
Grandmama living through the kids and the elders are afraid to speak because there's no gatekeepers. See, back in the day, the OGs were the gatekeepers. We had the OGs, even though they knew what was going on, they was a part of the dysfunction that was going on, but they did go by a code of you're going to respect elders. You're going to leave the women in the elder alone. No, the problem is these youngsters don't respect OGs.
Yeah, they were off limits.
Yeah, they don't respect the gatekeepers.
Right.
You know,
Candace said there is no respect because the parents are becoming younger and younger who have no respect for the elders. Hence the MLK fight. Oh yeah, the Martin Luther King fight. My daughter go to that school. I just seen the video today, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on,
MJ.
Listen, man. Listen, I'm gonna say this. When we was in school, listen. Putting your hands on the teacher, you dead. You dead.
Dead, man.
You couldn't cuss at a teacher,
MJ.
say the teacher lying. If you came home and told them, no, the teacher was mistaken, I did turn the assignment in. Like, you can't even say lie.
You choose your words wisely.
The 3 students were charged though. So they were charged, but I seen the video. I'm like, and like I said, my daughter go to that school, and I'm like, man, like, come on, man. Like,
man,
where's the respect?
We wouldn't have thought about, I don't care how mad we was at a teacher, we wouldn't have thought about putting our hands on a teacher.
No,
man. I don't care how mad we were. Hey,
nope.
We're putting our hands on a teacher.
Even when the teacher, you remember when the teacher used to call, you'd be at home like Wednesday evening.
Sunday. It was Sunday, MJ.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday.
It was always
And you know, mama answered the phone, you know. Can I speak to Francis? This is she, you know, mama.
And then, you know, on a Sunday, you like, hold on. Like who teaches that?
Hey, then you be people around the corner like, who she talking to? Then she give you that look while she on the phone. You like, oh man. And even after that, you probably got a whooping that night. You got on punishment, all that. When you went to school that Monday morning,
That's right.
you did not disrespect your teacher.
You did not disrespect that teacher.
No,
It was like she didn't call.
it was like she didn't call.
You know?
And those are, I think those are the things, man, that, and honestly, it starts with the parents, because a lot of us are not stressing that in the house. That level of respect for our elders and our teachers and everybody in the community. And I'm 41, man, and I still say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir.
That's right.
And it's a lost art, because you'll be surprised how many of our older people are surprised when I say that. Charlene said when we were younger, we didn't put our hands on teachers or disrespect them because we knew we would get it at home. That's exactly what I was just saying. We knew we'll get it at the house. Shalonda said the parents are allowing electronics and man, 100%, because electronics and social media to raise their kids. Kids are doing what they see. Yep, they are so impressionable. 100%. 100%. Christian said, I saw that I was ready to ride. My belt was hanging on my doorknob. Candace said, this is a different breed. You're right. It's totally different. And how do we ain't got too much longer, but how do we, and I know we kind of switching subjects from Karen Gates and Vanna James, but how do we get that back? Like, what is it going to take? Because the states and the government are so much in the schools and the house now. They have given the children more power.
Wow. And the kids know the power.
The kids know their power, bro.
We ain't know the law. We ain't know the law to be on our side. We ain't know none of that.
Hey, but listen, bro.
We wouldn't have used it.
Even see, and I was just about to say that. Even if we knew you can call 911, the police will come and all that. We already knew, police, if you don't take me with you and put me in a mansion and feed me for the rest of my life, when you leave, I'm dying. So we already knew the repercussions, the aftermath of it, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know, by and large, how do we get back to that? Like, it's tough, man. It's tough. How do we get back to the kids having that level of respect? Christian said parents got to start back pulling up.
Yeah.
We got to get to the root, go back to what placed a sense of fear in us. That's right.
Well, I'll tell you this. Having less than, not having everything you wanted, had its rewards, MJ.
That's right.
If you look at black people, let's go back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, 70s. You know, we could talk about integration, we could talk about all that. But at the same time, we as black people, a lot of times didn't have a lot, but we had family,
right? And
family looked out for each other, and right. we respected each other when we helped raise each other kids. What the American dream taught us, it took us out the home. What it did, it took us out the home because now both parents are working. Because a lot of times you're trying to give your kids what you didn't have,
right?
But when you had less than, you can, I think if we can go back to that, maybe we need to cut our homes in half, cut our cars in half, and put one person back in the home. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me the more material things we were able to obtain, the less value we put on that person that was in the home that helped raise the kids to instill some type of value in them and structure. Because now most kids that come home, they home before mom and dad, they let themselves in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're hours.
They
Or they
latch
just brother and
kids.
sister come in.
Right.
But think about it back in the day when you didn't have as much. When you came home, grandma was at the house. You maybe stayed with grandmama, and then you had a couple of families in one home, or your auntie stayed next door. The other auntie or uncle stayed across the street. They made sure you was fine. They made sure you was out of trouble. What I'm saying is we had a true sense of family because we had relationship, MJ.
Yeah, and you're right, and we knew we would get in trouble. Majority of adults can stop us in the street and reprimand
That's
us.
right. That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So it was really a community, the definition of it. We speak that community now, but it was really a community. Amanda said, check your kids, raise your kids, stay on top of your kids, be what you want your kids to be. You can say a lot, but in this day and age, kids want to see it in real time.
That's true.
I agree. And
That's true.
Charlene, she interviewed me and was talking to me. We have conversations. So, and when I was talking about real conversations with your children, I think that's one of the things we got to start with too. Because like Cuz said, these electronics raising our kids, they're getting too much tablet time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you got to pull them back and have them conversations with us.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy said she wasn't there back yonder, but tell she's from Selma country. But I got what you're saying, and we had what they don't have now. It's called community.
Yeah, man.
100%.
MJ, that was true. What we have now is not true community, MJ.
Yep. And
It's not true community.
Yeah.
We don't want people to say nothing to our kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, let me tell you something. My mama friend, my mama daddy friends, and man, Auntie Cleo, and just they can whoop us.
Listen, man, I never forget this day.
Hey, they put them things on like, hey,
listen, I never forget this day. Miss Gail, I seen Miss Gail the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Mama and Miss Gail had a communication. I don't know what was happening on, but Dion and Isaiah had to stay with us. I think Miss Gail and Mr. Vernon was going somewhere. And Miss Gail dropped Dion and Isaiah off over the house. This is how the conversation went. Miss Gail said, "Now, Francis." Mama said, "Yeah." Miss Gail said, "Okay, now," and she walked out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here like that new. See, she was telling Mama, if they get out of line,
yeah, you put them back,
tighten them up.
Hey, Mr. Battle. Now think about it. Remember, we went to school with Mr. Battle, Desidra.
Yeah.
Mr. Battle grandson is at his house all the time. When we went out for AJ's birthday, Mr. Battle said, "Alan, you do to him like you do to AJ, and I know you whoop AJ. So if he get out of line, you whoop him too."
Yep.
I ain't have to say nothing else. Okay.
Yeah.
You raise he with you. You're responsible for him, and you treat him like you treat your own.
100%.
And I ain't got nothing to say.
100%. Amanda said that's true. You can't say anything to someone else's kids. That's 100%. That's one other one. We need to write this list down.
Yeah,
that's
you can't say nothing to him.
Can't say nothing to him. Can't say nothing to him.
And you can put mine in line. Tell you that anybody can put them in line. They acting wrong, put them in line because that might save their life. See, that's the problem with folks.
That's right.
If people could put your child in line, some of these young men who out here doing any and everything, they probably won't be in the situation that they in. MJ.
That's right.
But you Uncle put mine in line.
Uncle Michael in the building, he said you definitely got to communicate with them, Mr. Key. Yep. 100%, man. And what's up, man? Yeah. Chris said, get in that tail. Yep. All of these things, man, because honestly, bro, if you look at the generations before us, like our mom and them generation, and you see the value and how they were raised. And now we look at just 2 generations. And you look at the kids now, it's like, I don't understand it. They swinging on teachers. They telling parents you can't tell them that. I seen another video on TikTok. The lady turned the internet off, and the boy broke the door down.
He broke the door down.
He broke the door down because she turned the Wi-Fi off. His mama. And I'm like,
Boy,
If there had been Francis or Marvin Reed,
we'd be dead, MJ. You'll be
listen,
up.
man,
Hey,
we singing "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to
we'll be
You"
looking at your obituary right now, MJ.
right now. Right now, I'm like, I don't get it,
And
man.
you know what? One thing we truly believe, and we had this conversation in the barbershop yesterday, was I said I came up in a time when our parents said, "I brought you in this world and I take you out." I truly, honestly believed it.
Yeah,
I truly, honestly believe that they can take me out and they will have no
repercussions. Yeah,
they can do it.
yeah.
You know, and kids don't fear. They don't fear their parents like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when they don't fear their parents like that, they don't fear God. And that's why when they get out in this world, man, they do any and everything, man. Because your parent, the word says, train a child they should the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't. When they're old, they won't depart.
That's right.
From so we're not training them, but what we're getting when they get old, this is what we're producing. When they're on their own and they can make their own decisions, look what happens.
That's right. Amanda said we couldn't even think too loud back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, grown up talking. You walk in that room. Listen, you better be bleeding.
Yep.
Or they gonna all look at you like,
what you doing here? We couldn't say dang. Remember the mama said too close.
Heck.
Yeah, it's too close.
Too close.
But yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm happy we was raised. What a time to be raised as a child.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. We were raised by great parents. We had. It don't matter how we were mad. We got whoopings. How many times we went in our room and said, "I can't wait. I'm 18, so I can get out of here." When we look back, I'll be 40 years old this year. I would not change nothing on how I was raised, MJ.
Yeah.
Our parents did the best they could. And I think they did a damn good job with us. You know what I'm saying? And that's just real talking. Anybody who agree with us, what we're saying, you had some type of parent, grandparent in your life that raised you right.
That's
and
right.
And I can say according to the word of God, man. And that's just real talk. And you should be thankful and grateful that that's the type of ground that you come from, man. Because I wouldn't change it for the world, bro.
Yeah, because you a lot of the times, and sometimes we take for granted how it completes us, because it just didn't show us, you know, like they were saying. Oh, Auntie Fifi and Aunt said definitely different times we were raised and not just grew up 100%. It completed you, and it also translated in different areas.
That's right.
So it just wasn't about discipline for you. Then it trained you on jobs. So now if you were raised right, you will be more successful at jobs, or you will be sustainable at jobs. You wouldn't just quit and walk out of there.
Emotional decision. I quit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Things like that, and how you carry yourself in the streets. Like I say, I still say yes, ma'am, no, sir, yes, you know, to this day, man. And it goes a long way. So
yeah.
But everybody has some good points, man. We got to write some of these down.
Yeah,
have some good points. But you know, our time is up. We don't want to keep y'all long this year.
Yeah.
Over time, everything. But we appreciate y'all. We are back. We come every Thursday at 7:30 p.m.
Be back next week now.
Come back next week. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Hey, listen, if you have topics that you would like for us to discuss, feel free to send them to us. We definitely will discuss them. Y'all know the social medias on Instagram, Facebook. Y'all can even hit the YouTube. Send them to us, man, and we'll definitely discuss it. And what I got to give a shout out to Aunt. Aunt sends me videos all the time on Instagram. Matter of fact, I think one of the ones I did one of my segments was from him. He sent me videos all the time. He always send me videos, probably like 3-4 times a week. So I appreciate that. He keep my mind going with the content. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking about it now. My daughter just sent me a message on my phone, says it takes a village to raise a child. Now think about the type of ground that My parents instilled in them.
Right.
My parents instilled in me. My wife's parents instilled in her.
Correct.
And for my child at 14 to have the
14.
wisdom to say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So since she has that mindset when she goes out in the world, even when it's time for her to be corrected by someone that's not even her parents, she's going to accept that because she
Correct.
understands it
Correct.
takes a village to raise a child.
100%.
That's right.
100%.
Mhm.
It's priceless.
Priceless.
They're priceless.
Priceless.
We appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. Like I said, send us videos. I'll bring all the handles next week about the book and everything. We got some things coming up. A lot of things coming up that I think we're you know what, I'll say this, that we want the community to be joined in with us and help us out. But we're happy to be back. Lineage Podcast is back. We're gonna be here every Thursday, 7:30. So we appreciate y'all joining us until next week. I was going to say the late great Jerry Springer used to say, take care of yourself and each other.
That's right.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna have the First Nurse health segment next week, starting back next week. First Nurse, she was in the field doing First Nurse things, so she couldn't be First Nurse on the podcast. So First Nurse, you know, she has a obligation to feel for the community, but she will be back with a health segment next week. So we appreciate y'all. See y'all next week.